hell of a, you gotta be, if she goes rogue, the world is in trouble, okay? So the baddest fighter in the Justice League is Wonder Woman. No doubt about it. Hands down, she is bad. And it's really cool. I would love to see the Justice League on the screen. But anyway, I get carried away. So she gets hope. Her relationship with Batman in an informal way leads her to come out of the shadows and come back. And she comes back with a vengeance. I mean, she protects Batman, saves his life, and she starts taking him on. Superman recovers from the damage. He gets hit with a nuclear bomb in outer space and pretty much almost completely was destroyed. But he comes back because of the sunlight. And he comes back. So it's the three of them taking on Doomsday. And Doomsday epitomizes hopelessness. Basically, Doomsday is a beast that destroys everything that's alive. Alright? And remember, Lex Luthor, he is not a hopeful person. So Lex Luthor symbolizes hopelessness. Basically, he makes deals with the devil. And he believes devils come from the sky. So Lex Luthor is hopelessness. And he thinks hopelessness, his ideology of hopelessness, will cure the world's ills. Better to bring the world to a conclusive end, where he's in charge for a minute, than to allow this paradox to happen. So Lex Luthor is that, but nonetheless, yeah. So absolutely, this is the combination of hope in the movie where all three take on Doomsday, and of course we go back to Superman and Lois, and Superman and Lois, you know, they complement each other, and you saw it when Superman first saves Lois. He goes back trying to get the kryptonite. Lois saves Superman. This has been happening throughout the movie. Lois constantly is trying to be Superman's savior, and Superman's trying to be Lois' savior. And in this final part of the movie, he says, "I love you." Because he knows what he's about to do, and the gravity of the situation has been seen over and over throughout the movie. Where Superman, he realizes this is a daunting challenge he's taking on all the time, and this time he says, "I love you. You are my world." To her, this is his relationship with Lois. He's really, really invested in her because anything happens to Lois, Superman could be wherever he is in the world, he's gonna feel it, and he goes straight to Lois. That's how important she is to him. So he grabs the kryptonite spear and he goes after Doomsday. Wonder Woman is beating Doomsday up. I mean, she's chopping him up and stuff, but of course Doomsday, he regrows arms and all of that stuff, and he regenerates. And, you know, Wonder Woman has him tied up, Batman hits him with a kryptonite canister thingy, and Superman just runs him through with a spear. And even though he runs him through with a spear, he doesn't stick it straight through Doomsday's body. He catches him on the inside, but he hasn't really rammed it all the way through. It almost reminds me of biblical proportions when those guys back in Bible times, how they used to fight. And Doomsday is able to impale Superman, ramming one of his horned, sort of spear-like horns out of his body into Superman's chest. Okay, and Superman just switches gears and just takes that spear and rams it all the way through Doomsday's body, instantaneously killing him before he can regenerate. And yeah, Superman dies as well in the process. It's crazy, but in that point in the film, it's very, very sad. But depending on what atmosphere you're in, people may laugh at it. Some people, because they're so shocked. Some people may, if you're making jokes all the way through, they'll make a joke about it. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of people were kind of shocked that Superman died in the movie. And it felt like the hope was dying. But because of his death, it brought all the people of the world together. They had a soldier's funeral for him and while he was being buried back in Kansas. And it brought Batman and Wonder Woman together. And so they, you know, from a distance were viewing Superman's burial and so on. Because I don't think they were invited to the funeral, and they, you know, stayed as outsiders. Superman's mother, she bemoaned him, of course, and put the picture of her father with him. But interestingly enough, again, the ideology of hope. Batman has now taken on the symbolism of Superman. He personally has taken it on, and he's looking for the other members, the other metahumans in the world, and he's asking Wonder Woman to help him. And Wonder Woman is suggesting that they may not want to be found, and that, you know, human beings are terrible. You know, they can be very evil, you know, and helping them may be futile. And Batman responds with that yes, you know, humans fight one another and they hurt one another and they do a lot of evil things, but they have the capacity, and this is Superman speaking here, this is almost Jor-El speaking, they have the capacity to do great things, and now we need to have those things happen. We need to have it to survive. And it's beautiful because we've never heard Batman say something like this. This is a new Batman. And again, the symbol of this hope inside of the chest of Batman, the crux of Batman, the crux of his justice now, is different to any other Batman I've ever seen. And so that's what I loved about the movie. And suffice it to say that Batman epitomizes now what Superman means to the world, except he doesn't have superpowers like that. And then he goes on to, you know, turn around and go away. And in the last couple seconds of the movie, after Lois Lane is throwing some dirt on Superman's casket, and you know what sucked about the movie? The fact that Clark Kent, he wanted to marry Lois Lane the very week he died. But anyway, yes, so she throws the dirt on the casket. It's a very heavy moment, a very somber moment, but it's lightened up by the fact that the dirt suddenly rises just about a split second before the movie's over. And again, this now gives us, the audience, hope. So this movie, like I said, was all about hope. And we examined it from many different angles, and it was a film that, yeah, it was heavy, it had gravity to it, and there's nothing wrong with that. It had its humorous moments. Lex Luthor provided humor, Alfred provided humor, Perry White provided humor, though it was few and far between. Mark Kent, she provided a little bit of humor after the action scene with Batman. For the most part, I would say this is a badass action movie, you know, where you got sometimes some one-liners which are just really badass, okay? And then there's somebody else who provided some humor in the film. I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was, yes, it was somebody else, I think, provided humor in the film. Of course, Batman himself had some humorous parts where he was running away from from Doomsday. I mean, that was so funny when he just fired off the grappling hook and got out of there. When he's on Doomsday, Batman wasn't messing with Doomsday. Period. He's bad. You know, he had Superman in a chokehold with his foot, and he was ready to kill Superman. He ain't messing with Doomsday. he fought Doomsday from a distance. It was hilarious, man. But yeah. But at the end of the day, the film had more gravity to it. It was definitely an adult film. It wasn't for kids. And I think in lieu of the fact that people went and watched Deadpool and they watched a lot of other Marvel movies, I'm kind of shocked, but a lot of people couldn't grow up and realize this is an adult movie with adult themes. And I'm not even peeled back I haven't even peeled back the layer of the onion yet, and gone into some really serious stuff. So this was a fantastic superhero movie in that respect. People talked about the editing and so on, but that's Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder's style is to do that sort of edgy, uncut, kind of rough feel. He likes to give you a kind of slightly organic feel to his movies. He always likes doing that. That's Zack Snyder. So and his storytelling method with 3 or 4 different threads merging into one, that's Zack Snyder. I mean, you guys, if you don't understand the style of Zack Snyder, you need to go watch a couple more of his movies. They're all like that. Even 300 was like that, you know. So Zack Snyder could easily shoot a linear movie the way how people want it shot. Okay, he knows about these things. He chooses not to do that. Okay, and to always present something fresh and new. I'm pretty sure for Justice League, he's going to do something like that as well. And that's just Zack Snyder. I mean, you guys, I don't understand you guys, man. Anyway, so that's Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and yeah, that's it in a nutshell.